Have you had many cases of it?
I think 3.
Yeah, I think I've had 3 as well.
And there was one I saw in vet school that I will never forget because I was on my derm rotation. And it was one of those classic vet school moments where like somebody from, cardiology, like did a drive-by with a German Shepherd and they were like, hey, Dr. O'Brien, can you look at this? And he was like, oh, that's cutaneous lymphoma. But it was because the dog actually only had lesions around its mouth and the mucosal membranes were changing. It was like where it was pigmented, it was now pink and it looked like it was spreading into the skin a little bit. And he's like, oh, that's going to be lymphoma. He's like, you got to biopsy it, but it's going to be lymphoma. And I was like, what? Anyway.
I mean, the worst one I had, like the dog in this, case study, the pictures are beautiful and they're, really that very typical, nodular lesion, which just like we were saying, they don't call it mycosis fungoides anymore, but they used to because they got those lesions that looked like mushrooms. That's where it got the name in people. And so, but like my case was just like the whole dog was fire engine red. It looked more like a dog with sarcoptic mange than these kind of like discrete nodular lesions. And I mean, this dog was so painful. Like you couldn't touch it. The owners couldn't touch it. And they'd been giving baths and everything for atopy and doing all this stuff for months. And it was just heartbreaking. Like, and I literally sent it to our dermatologist, and she didn't even biopsy. She did like surface cytology on its skin, and it was just, lymphocytes everywhere. She sent it back to me for euthanasia, like within an hour. It was awful.